Welcome to Beyond the Dark, where we plunge headfirst into the realms of the unexplained, the mysterious, and the extraordinary. I'm your host, Jay Rockwell, and together we'll navigate the shadowy corridors of ufology, explore the world of cryptids, and venture into the cosmic unknown. From extraterrestrial encounters to the secrets of the paranormal, we leave no stone unturned. Join me as we embark on a journey that transcends the boundaries of reality. From the low valleys of Ohio, I bid you good evening. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone had a great weekend. I had a very productive weekend. I cleaned the garage out and reorganized it. Look at me. I can do things. What did you guys do this weekend? Hopefully something more fun than that. I'm Jay Rockwell, and this is Beyond the Dark. And you are entering another installment, and tonight's main topic will be the Bermuda Triangle. Yes. Bermuda Triangle. A lot of mystery, a lot of intrigue. This infamous area in the Atlantic Ocean is associated with numerous disappearances of ships and aircraft. And we're going to get into it. We're going to dive into it. Thanks for everyone who came out last week to the premiere of Beyond the Dark, Parallel Universes and the Multiverse Theory. That was a brain buster, and I hope I brought it a little bit of justice. I got a good response from the crowd, from the listeners, from the audience, whatever you want to call it, and it was a good show. My brain hurt afterwards, but it was great. We also knocked out our first Phantom Frequency special last week on Halloween, and that was a great time. That got an incredible reception as far as I'm concerned, and we're almost at 500 views in a week, and it's doing good work. Thank you guys for the support. I appreciate all of you. Beyond the Dark is now available on Deezer, TuneIn, Radio Public, Pandora, and Listen Notes. And that's on top of the other 4 that we're already on. So, yeah, we're looking at near 10 platforms that you can listen to this podcast, this radio show, this cool endeavor. Remember, folks, we got our Discord open and our Facebook community page. Links are going to be down below in the description. Come join us and have a good time. Send all stories, experiences, encounters, and questions to beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. I am waiting for your email. Good news about next month. November 30th will be the next Phantom Frequencies. It will be Volume 2, where we will be reading ghost stories. And so far, I already have several submissions. So please get your submissions in, or you will have to wait until the December Phantom Frequencies. And if I'm being honest, half of the December Phantom Frequencies will be dedicated to Christmas ghost stories that I am going to research and find. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Thank you to all the coffee supporters. I start my morning off every day with some fresh coffee, thanks to you, Michelle, Afros Animation, and Sky Eyes. Do you have a product or a website that you are trying to promote? Please contact me at beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. I want to help and get your product or website out. I want to promote it. Okay, so contact me and we'll get the ball rolling on that. Without further ado, I'm going to let Michelle take us away into the first transition. Go ahead.
You are listening to Beyond the Dark with J. Rockwell. And here's what's in the news.
Alright, folks, lean back and let's take a cosmic journey on today's segment of Universe Unzipped. Now, imagine the most mind-blowing fireworks show you've ever seen. That's pretty much a supernova for you. These gigantic starry explosions are not just a feast for the eyes, they're like a grand recipe that cooks up most elements in our universe. So here's the scoop. A bunch of brainy folks over at Princeton are playing cosmic chefs. They're whipping up simulations of these celestial blowouts on some of the beefiest computers out there, hosted by the Department of Energy's Argonne Leadership Computing facility. It's like they've got their hands on the universe's cookbook, and they're trying to crack the code on how these stars go boom and what they leave behind. Now, for decades, these supernova simulations were more like guesswork. Early models were in 1D, which is like trying to understand a basketball game from a single snapshot. But reality is 3D, and so is the chaos inside these stars. By taking the plunge into 3D simulations, these researchers have cranked up the complexity and are now watching these simulated stars burst and rumble, almost like the real deal. What's the end game, you ask? Well, by getting these simulations right, they hope to predict the cosmic fate of stars. Will they go out with a bang, or leave behind a dark and dense calling card like a black hole? It's all about piecing together the final moments in a star's life. And just like a radio show that gets better with every tune-in, these simulations improve with each run. The goal? To stretch the simulation from half a second before the explosion to a full 4 or 5 seconds of star death drama. So, as we continue our casual drift through the cosmos, let's give a nod to the supercomputers and sharper simulations that bring us closer to the secrets of the stars. Stay tuned for more cosmic tales on Universe Unzipped. Keep it cool, keep it stellar, and keep on tuning in. Hey there, fellow travelers. You're tuned into the vibes of the universe here on our chill show. As we float through the eons on our little blue dot, I've got a tale that takes us back. Way back. We're talking about a story from the twilight of the dinosaurs. So, grab your favorite cup of joe or tea, and let's unravel this ancient mystery together. Imagine this. A massive space rock, bigger than the towering peaks of Everest, slams into Earth. This isn't a scene from the blockbuster movie, folks. It's the real deal that happened 66 million years ago, right off the coast of what we now call Mexico. This bad boy sent our dino buddies into a tailspin of doom, along with 3/4 of life on Earth. Whew! But the nitty-gritty of this prehistoric whodunit is something scientists are still piecing together. Now, imagine someone finding an ancient black box. No, not the kind you find on airplanes, but a geological one. This black box might just hold the secrets of the dino demise. A team of brainy scientists cracked it open, and guess what? They found a clue that points to a massive plume of dust that our asteroid friend kicked up. Now, this wasn't just any dust. It was a sunlight-stealing, chill-inducing, plant-killing kind of dust that threw Earth into a deep freeze and turned off the lights for nearly 2 years. Talk about a major power outage. Previous digs, with their tiny spoonfuls of dirt, missed this critical evidence. But this time, the researchers dug deep. I mean a whopping 1.3 meters deep, up in North Dakota, and hit the jackpot. Using some laser wizardry, they figured out that this fine dust was the main character in the story of our planet's Big Chill. So, while the massive rock caused quite a ruckus, creating mega tsunamis and turning rock to gas, it was really the fine dust that dealt the knockout blow, leading to a planetary winter wonderland minus the wonder. And while T-Rex and friends couldn't adapt to the new Ice Age diet, some crafty creatures managed to stick around, which is why we're not chatting in dinosaur today. Thank God. So next time you dust your shelves, remember, that stuff has some powerful history. This cool snapshot of our planet's past was brought to you by the folks at Nature Geoscience. Until next time, keep your minds open and your headphones on. Alright, folks, let's dive into a bit of ocean news that's making waves. There's this fresh off the boat study from the University of British Columbia that's got some of our global neighbors treading in deep water. Turns out, the seafood buffet we all love could see a bit of a shrink. Up to 30% less nutrients like protein and those oh so good omega 3s on the table for folks in lower income countries by the time we hit the triple zeros of 2100. And that's if the carbon keeps puffing up the atmosphere with little done to stop it. But hey, here's a glimmer of hope. If the world can cozy up to the Paris Agreement and keep the heat down to a 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius rise, we might just cut that nutrient nosedive to about 10%. The catch? Current charts show we're sailing off course from those targets. Now, seafood's a big deal in the global south, where a fish on the plate isn't just tasty, it's a lifeline against malnutrition. And it's not just any fish that's packed with the goods. We're talking the small pelagic ones, the unsung heroes of the nutrient world, especially for folks who can't do dairy or afford other animal goodies. Fast forward to the future, and our researchers, with their crystal balls, or climate models rather, see all four big sea nutrients taking a plunge, with calcium leading the belly flop. Omega 3s are also in the mix with a drop, and here's the twist. Even though we're getting better at farming our fin friends, it's not enough to keep the nutrient numbers up. So what's the plan? The brainy bunch behind the study say we could make a splash by keeping more nutrient-rich fish like anchovies and herring out of the fish meal mix and on our plates instead. Oof, no thank you. And embracing the use every part of the fish philosophy could help keep those nutrients circulating. But let's be real. The big wave to catch here is climate change. The cooler we can keep our planet, the better the chances of our oceans and the folks who rely on them will stay nourished and thriving. It's a global effort, and every degree of warmth we avoid counts. Keep tuning in, and we'll keep you posted on all things blue and briny. Alright folks, let's jazz up your universe with some news that's just come through the airwaves. Picture this. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, that cosmic super sleuth, has been peeking into the depths of space and has brought us a fresh look at an old friend, the Crab Nebula. This dazzling patchwork of stellar leftovers is not just any space spectacle, it's a supernova remnant, hanging out in the starry lane of the Taurus constellation, a mere 6,500 light-years from our blue dot. Now, we've known about the crab since it crashed the cosmic party back in 1054, thanks to some sharp-eyed astronomers of the yesteryears, but this time it's different. Webb's been flexing its powerful gaze with its NIRCam and MIRI to scoop out the secrets of the crab's tangled past. Picture this. A team from Princeton, with Tia Temin at the helm, has been sleuthing through the infrared universe to crack the code of the crab's origins. They're digging into the detritus of this starry explosion, looking for the cosmic recipe. You know, a little iron here, a sprinkle of nickel there, to figure out what cooked up this celestial feast. Now, if you remember the crab from the Hubble's 2005 snapshot, it had a certain je ne sais quoi. But Webb, oh Webb, with its infrared eyes, has captured the nebula in shades of red and orange, yellow and white, and green. It's like seeing an old photograph in color for the first time. It's just simply mesmerizing. And there's this ghostly glow, a sort of fog, within the nebula that Webb's brought into sharp relief. It's synchrotron radiation, a light show courtesy of electrons dancing to the tune of magnetic fields at near light speed. And at the heart of this nebulous masterpiece is the pulsar, a lighthouse spinning wildly and spewing out particles that rev up the nebula's glow. To spot this pulsar, just imagine tracing a finger along the nebula's delicate ripples to a bright white beacon right at the center. The whole scene is a dance of dust and gas, sculpted by the pulsar's magnetic artistry, looking almost like the universe pinched the nebula's waist with a cosmic corset. The story doesn't end here. Astronomers are now playing detective, piecing together the Webb's revelations with the old guard's views, including Hubble's. With some fresh data expected to drop from Hubble soon, It's like getting ready for a sequel to a classic flick. I mean, don't all the sequels suck, though? This is going to be different. So, stay tuned to this starry saga, my comrades. The Crab Nebula's mystery is unraveling right before our eyes, one telescope at a time. Keep your eyes to the skies and your ears right here for the latest in star-studded news. I've got some electrifying news to spark your day. The brilliant minds at MIT and Harvard have been busy cooking up a revolutionary recipe, not for your dinner, but for a cleaner planet. They've concocted a slick way to turn the pesky carbon dioxide, this stuff we're trying to get rid of from our air, into something quite incredible. A stable fuel. Now, this isn't the plot of a sci-fi movie, it's real science magic. These whiz kids, led by some doctoral students and Professor Ju Lee, have figured out how to transform CO2 into formate. Picture this, a non-toxic, non-flammable substance that's already being used to keep our roads clear of ice. Only now, it could power up fuel cells to light up our homes or even juice up an industrial site. Talk about a power move. Here's the scoop from their latest report in Cell Reports Physical Science. They've cracked the code to skip the inefficient steps other fuel-making methods are stuck on. No more energy-guzzling heat treatments. Their method is all about smooth electrochemical conversion. It's a bit like making lemonade out of lemons, but instead, they're making a potential energy goldmine out of greenhouse gas. The best part? They've got their sights set beyond the lab. They're dreaming big, as in, your home could one day have its own CO2 to fuel converter, maybe no bigger than your fridge. And for the long haul, they've made this fuel shelf stable for years. That's right, years. The implications are huge. We're talking about a leap towards a greener grid, cleaner industry, and maybe even energy independence on a household level. So keep your ears perked and your eyes on the horizon, because if this innovation hits the streets, we could be looking at a future where we're not just cutting down on emissions, but actually repurposing them into something useful. Now that's a breath of fresh air. Stay tuned for more updates right here on Beyond the Dark. Hey there, chill seekers and casual listeners. Let's lean in for a bit of news that's buzzing through the wires. Today, we're unwrapping a story that's close to home for many. Our teens and their dance with the digital world. So what's the scoop? Well, it turns out that a slice of American parents, about 1 in 5, to be precise, are tossing and turning over the thought that their teenagers might just be a little too cozy with the internet. Yeah, we're talking full-on addiction worries here. And this isn't just a hunch. It's what a survey echoing the thoughts of roughly 1,000 moms and dads is saying. Now, these parents aren't just fretting over how the net might be the next big vice like drugs or booze. No. They're also keyed up about the not-so-nice sides of the online jungle. Think cyberbullying, those sneaky harmful bits of content, and the big A, addiction. But hold up. Before we doom scroll through this tale, there's another layer. The survey, a fresh piece of intel from the folks at the Child Mind Institute out of the Big Apple, along with some other sharp minds, is giving us a dual-lens view. It's not all about the pitfalls. There's chatter about the perks, too. Some parents are actually giving a thumbs up to how the internet's been a digital bridge, bringing families from the folks at home to the extended clan a whole lot closer. Dr. Giovanni Salum, a brainy type at the Institute and co-author of the study, chimes in with a thought provoker. He's been looking at the big picture, saying, hey, we've got to balance the scales here. Sure, there's a rising tide of concern about mental health disorders among the young ones, and the internet's role in it can't be shrugged off. But let's not miss out on the good stuff, like that sweet sense of family connectedness that the web can spin. And it seems like a lot of parents are on board with that sentiment. Nearly 2/3 are side-eyeing the harmful content, and more than half are on guard against online bullying. Yet, a pretty solid bunch also digs the way the web is tight in family ties. But let's talk about that internet addiction thing. Dr. Saloom lays it down. If the web's just a slice of life, we're cool. But if it's hogging the spotlight, crowding out all real-life chats and schoolwork, that's when we hit the brakes. Now, here's a nugget for you. The parenting playbook seems to make a cameo in how this whole internet saga plays out. The study's giving us a nudge, saying parenting styles, especially how discipline's dished out and how folks co-parent, might just have a say in whether kids are scoring high on the internet addiction chart. So what's the verdict? We've got to dig deeper, invest in knowing more about the pros and cons because let's face it, the internet's not just passing through, it's here to stay, a part of our daily groove. As we cruise through this digital era, the message is clear. Keep the convo going with the youngsters. Ask them what's up in their online world, and maybe, just maybe, throw in a family screen holiday to show them the ropes. And the American Psychological Association? They're tossing their hat in the ring with a springtime health advisory, kind of like a roadmap for navigating the social media superhighway. That's the word on the digital street, folks. Now, keep it locked here for more stories that matter, served up with the laid-back vibe you love. Stay tuned and stay connected in all the right ways. Alright folks, it's time to dive into the world of robotics, where the lines between sci-fi and reality are getting blurrier by the day. Grab your coffee or tea and let's chat about Digit, the humanoid robot that's got everyone talking. Imagine walking into a warehouse and seeing something that looks pretty darn close to a human, only it's not. That's Digit for you. Created by the clever folks at Agility Robotics, this bipedal bot is shaking things up over at Amazon. And before you ask, no, Digit's not a he or a she, it's an it. We're keeping things neutral for tech, my friends. Digit is like something out of a movie, complete with LED eyes that blink to signal its moves. It's testing its digital hands at tote consolidation. That's a fancy way of saying it's organizing those big storage containers after they've been emptied. It's doing all this in an Amazon warehouse just south of Seattle, moving around with a grace inspired by birds and decades of research on walking. Yes, you heard that right. This robot walks, grabs, and navigates like something out of a futuristic flick. But here's the thing. Amazon isn't just showing off. They're seriously testing Digit to see if it can handle the nitty-gritty of warehouse work, a task that's usually left to humans. The reason? Well, there aren't enough hands to do the work, and honestly, some jobs are just too repetitive or tough for us fleshy beings. While some folks at Amazon have noticed Digit might not break any speed records, it's designed to move at a human pace. Why? Because the world it's stepping into is built for people, not for lightning-fast robots. Agility Robotics has big dreams for Digit, aiming to roll out thousands of these robots for all kinds of work. And sure, there's that whisper of worry about robots taking over jobs, but Agility's CEO, Damian Shelton, says it's quite the opposite. Robots like Digit could take on the dull and dangerous tasks, pushing us humans towards better gigs. Now, the response to Digit has been mixed. Some Amazon employees think it's cool, others find it a tad slow. But the big question is, does it creep people out to work alongside a robot that walks on two legs? Amazon is all ears, taking in what the workers have to say because, at the end of the day, it's about making life easier, not giving you the heebie-jeebies. So what do you guys think? Is Digit the co-worker of the future, or just another high-tech novelty? Drop me your thoughts, and let's keep the convo going. Stay tuned for more tech talk on Beyond the Dark. Gather round your radios, it's time for an update that's as cool as the dark side of the pillow. NASA's Lucy spacecraft is cruising through the vastness of space, heading towards Jupiter's orbit, and guess what? It's about to say howdy to its very first asteroid named Dinkinesh. But here's the kicker. Before Lucy even gets there, some brainy folks tapped into a 13-year-old space yearbook called the WISE data. WISE, or the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, for those who like the full names, is like an old-school cosmic camera that snapped everything in infrared. Way back in 2010, it accidentally caught a glimpse of Dinkinesh. Now, using that old pic, researchers have updated the stats on the space rock's size and shininess. That's albedo for the science savvy. Why is that cool? It gives us a sneak peek into what these near-Earth space wanderers are made of. Now, Dinkinesh is chilling in the asteroid belt, the space neighborhood between Mars and Jupiter. And here's the fun part. Lucy's using Dinkinesh as a practice target to test its space paparazzi skills at a whopping 10,000 miles per hour. It's like a cosmic dress rehearsal for Lucy's main gig, which is to check out the Jupiter Trojan asteroids. Those are the old-timers of the asteroid world. The WISE telescope, launched back in the frosty days of December 2009, was like, I'm going to map the universe in infrared, but asteroids aren't my thing. Yet, it ended up capturing about 190,000 asteroid shots by the time it put its feet up at the end of its main mission. Then NASA hit the on switch again in 2013, giving it a new mission and a new name, NEOWISE, to track down asteroids and comets that get too close to our blue home. Now, back to Dinkinesh, it's kind of a celebrity now. Discovered before Y2K was even a thing. This little rock was just hanging out until WISE's accidental glamour shots revealed it's about half a mile wide and made of the same stuff as many asteroids that cozy up near Earth. And for the future, NASA's already got a new scout lined up, the NEO Surveyor. Slated for a star-studded debut in 2027, it's going to pick up where NEOWISE leaves off, using the same clever techniques to spot those sneaky space rocks in infrared. So stay tuned, space fans. NASA's got its eyes on the skies, and who knows what other secrets are waiting out there in the cosmic wilderness. Keep it locked here for more space stories that are out of this world. Hey there, folks. Let's brighten up your day with a bit of sunny news from the health world. We've got a scoop that's like catching those perfect morning sun rays. So lean back, sip on that coffee or tea, and tune into the latest buzz about vitamin D. So, for over a century, we've been connecting the dots between those golden sunbeams, vitamin D, and staying clear of some serious health baddies like cancer. But you know how that goes. There's always been a bit of back and forth on whether this sunshine buddy really keeps the big C at bay. Well, a fresh off the press commentary by Dr. Michael F. Hollick from Boston University is stirring the pot. He's taken a deep dive into this vitamin D debate and surfaced with some pretty compelling stuff. Get this. Turns out, popping a daily dose of vitamin D could be a real game changer for folks dealing with cancer, particularly the kind that hits the digestive tract. We're talking a boost in survival odds that's got the science community perking up their ears. And here's where it gets sci-fi cool. There's this gene, P53, which is like your body's own personal superhero against cancer cells. But cancer's a sneaky villain, mutating this gene to work in its favor. Now, imagine your immune system, cape on, creating these antibodies to fight back against cancer's tricks. Add vitamin D to the mix, and you've got yourself a dynamic duo that could more than double your chances of survival. Dr. Hollick is all about pushing this research further. He's thinking, why not check out these P53 antibodies in folks who have been through the ringer with cancer and see how vitamin D really plays out in the survival saga? And for anyone wondering about the magic number, it's 2,000 IUs of vitamin D3 daily. That's the sweet spot that's been linked to better survival without any side effects. And, just a heads up, you can't get this superhero dose just from your diet or casual sunbathing. It's supplement territory. So there you have it. Sunshine in a capsule might just be the next big thing in keeping cancer at bay. Now, isn't that a bright idea? Stay tuned and stay sunny, listeners. More mellow news after this break. Lastly, I've got a tale that might just have you reaching for your earbuds, and not to tune into our show. Picture this. A woman in Taiwan, just like any of us, starts hearing this strange clicking sound inside her ear. No, it's not the latest beat drop. It's more like an eerie rustling that goes on for days, turning her nights into a no-sleep marathon. So, what's causing this mysterious concert in her ear? She heads to the dock, thinking maybe she's just got water stuck in there, or worse, she's losing her marbles. But no, the truth is wilder than that. The ENT specialist shines a light and finds a tiny, beady eyed spider having a solo party in her ear canal. Yeah, you heard that right. A spider was throwing its own rave in there. Unt, 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 unt. Now, this little critter wasn't just hanging out, it was shedding its old skin, getting ready to hit the big leagues of spiderhood right inside her ear. Thankfully, it's a teeny thing, only about the size of a crumb, but it's tickling her ear hairs and dancing around, making her want to crawl out of her skin. The pros at Tynan Municipal Hospital say this kind of thing is rare but not unheard of. Bugs find their way into ears more often than you'd like to think. And usually it's our own poking and prodding trying to evict these uninvited guests that does more harm than the bugs themselves. This story does have a happy ending though. Our spider-loving friend got the all clear. No harm to her eardrum and her hearing's just fine, thanks to some nifty work with a suction tube. And here's a chilling thought to leave you with. Remember that 9-year-old with a tick in his ear? Or that Florida lady with a roach motel situation? Makes a spider seem pretty tame, right? So next time you feel a little itch in your ear, maybe just let it be. Or better yet, let the pros check it out. And hey, stay tuned for more stories that are just as buzzworthy as the tunes we play. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't say that when I first put that story, that news bit into tonight's outline. Uh, yeah, I think I've used Q-tips like 50 million times. Like, oh my god, oh my god. Can you just imagine? Like, I know they say like, and I don't want to just make up a number, but like you even eat while you're asleep. Like you eat a certain amount of bugs every year. Like, oh, it makes me want to gag. But hey, guys, we're going to go ahead and take our first music break, and then when we come back, we're diving into the Bermuda Triangle. Shoutouts to Mixkit.co, who provide all the sounds and music that you hear here on Beyond the Dark. Are you interested in getting your music out or promote your music? Or maybe you're just like, Jay needs some better music. Hey, send it my way at beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. That's beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. Catch you guys in a moment.
You're listening to Beyond the Dark with J. Rockwell.
You are tuned into the enigmatic waves of Beyond the Dark, your sonic gateway to the mysteries of the cosmos. With your host, J. Rockwell, prepare to embark on an auditory journey where the incredible becomes conceivable. Good evening, truth seekers and cosmic surfers. You're all riding the airwaves with me on Beyond the Dark. As always, we're about to dive into the depths of one of the planet's most perplexing mysteries. Tonight, it's all about the Bermuda Triangle, that legendary expanse of ocean that has been swallowing ships, planes, and the imagination of the world for centuries. So kick back, grab your favorite beverage, and let's sail into the heart of this nautical enigma. The Bermuda Triangle, that infamous stretch of the Atlantic Ocean, has been a subject of human fascination for as long as we've traversed its deceptive waters. Bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, this area spans roughly 500,000 square miles of mystery and has been a puzzling topic for sailors, aviators, and the curious minds alike. The Triangle's legends are as deep as the Mariana Trench, teeming with tales of inexplicable phenomena, strange disappearances, and eerie occurrences. At the forefront of this enigmatic legacy is the USS Cyclops, a colossal Navy cargo ship that vanished without a trace in 1918. With all 309 souls on board disappearing into the abyss, the Cyclops left no SOS, no floating debris, and no bodies. Just a void where a ship once was. It's a maritime conundrum that's baffled historians, naval officers, and scientists for over a century. But the Cyclops was just the beginning. It's almost as if her disappearance opened the floodgates to a torrent of unexplained vanishings. Fast forward to the 1940s, and we find Flight 19, a squadron of 5 Avenger torpedo bombers getting lost in the Triangle during a routine training mission. The flight leader's last transmission, "Everything looks strange, even the ocean," sends chills down the spine. A rescue plane sent after them also disappeared, adding 6 more to the list of the Triangle's vanished, further cementing the area's ominous reputation. And the stories just keep surfacing, like ghost ships rising from the ocean floor. The Marine Sulphur Queen, a tanker carrying molten sulfur, disappeared in 1963, with theories ranging from spontaneous combustion to abduction by otherworldly forces. And let's not forget the Connemara 4, a pleasure yacht found adrift without her crew, as if they had evaporated into the salty air. Each story, each disappearance, adds another layer to the shroud that envelops the Bermuda Triangle. The Triangle's allure lies not just in the vessels it's claimed, but in the lives it's touched. Families and friends left on shore can only speculate, their questions lingering like a fog that never lifts. What happened to their loved ones? Where did these ships and aircraft go? It's a silent echo that has reverberated across generations. The term Bermuda Triangle was coined by Vincent Gaddis in a 1964 magazine article, and it was from this point that the Triangle entered public consciousness, not just as a treacherous stretch of ocean, but as a symbol of the inexplicable. It's a place that defies the era of GPS and satellite imagery, where the known world seems to end and a more mysterious one begins. And there's something irresistible about that mystery. In our world of constant connectivity and information overload, the Bermuda Triangle represents the enduring power of the unknown. It challenges the modern mind, whispers of ancient lore, of lost civilizations, and perhaps even portals to other dimensions. It's the siren song of the sea, calling us to delve into the uncharted, to confront the depth of our fears, and to ponder the vastness of our universe. As we peel back the layers of legend, let's remember that each story is a thread in the tapestry of human experience. Each disappearance a reminder of our vulnerability in the face of nature's might and mysteries. The Bermuda Triangle doesn't just represent a physical space on a map. It symbolizes the enigma of the human journey, our quest for understanding, our confrontation with the unknown, and our eternal hope that somewhere in the darkness lies the light of truth. And so, we set the stage for tonight's exploration into the Bermuda Triangle, a place that continues to captivate the soul and ignite the imagination. Stay with me as we dive deeper into the fathoms of fact and folklore, right here on Beyond the Dark. Navigating through the mist-shrouded tales of the Bermuda Triangle, let's chart a course towards the shores of science, where the beacons of data and reason guide us through the murky waters of myth and legend. It's here, in the realm of science, that we can begin to unravel some of the mysteries that have long captivated our imaginations. The Bermuda Triangle has been a topic of scientific scrutiny for decades, with researchers seeking explanations grounded in the natural world. So, what are these scientific theories, and how do they strip down the supernatural veneer of the Triangle's legend? Let's start with the Earth's geomagnetic forces. One of the most popular scientific theories suggests that the Triangle is one of the few places on Earth where true north and magnetic north align, which could potentially wreak havoc on navigational instruments. Indeed, compass variations are common within the Triangle, leading to navigational errors that could, in the days before advanced GPS technology, have led vessels astray into treacherous waters or storms. And speaking of storms, the Bermuda Triangle is a hotspot for tropical cyclones. These powerful systems can rise quickly and without warning, creating a maelstrom that's even the most experienced sailors and pilots might find impossible to navigate. Waterspouts, in particular, can spell disaster for ships and aircraft alike. These towering columns of swirling air and mist are not only formidable because of the strong winds, but also because of the steep waves they create. Then there are the Gulf Stream's swift and turbulent waters that carve through the Triangle. It's a river within an ocean, and its strong current can easily carry away debris, leaving no trace of disasters. If a ship were to sink in the vicinity of the Gulf Stream, it could be swept far away from the site of the sinking, making it virtually impossible to locate the wreckage. But perhaps the most intriguing scientific phenomenon proposed as an explanation involves methane hydrates. These are vast undersea fields of subterranean methane ice. If such a field were to destabilize, it could release a gargantuan bubble of gas, reducing the water's density. A ship in the wrong place at the wrong time could sink as if falling through air. Moreover, Earth's atmosphere can be a tricky player. Scientists have observed hexagonal clouds forming off the coast, creating air bombs with winds up to 170 miles per hour, powerful enough to plunge airplanes into the ocean and whip up waves to overwhelm ships. And let's consider electronic fog, a meteorological phenomenon that sticks to an aircraft or ship like static cling, creating a time-suspending bubble. Pilots have reported their electronic instruments going haywire when encountering this so-called fog, leading to disorientation, a navigational nightmare. But perhaps most important of all are the human elements. Human error, poor decision-making in stressful situations, and deliberate acts of skullduggery like insurance fraud, which could account for some of the so-called disappearances in the Triangle. Yet, does science truly dispel the myth? While it offers us a glimpse into the natural occurrences that may lie behind the Triangle's legend, there's always a sliver of the unexplained. That inexplicable residue that clings to the stories and the silence that follows the vanishing of the ship or plane. These scientific explanations are like lighthouses illuminating the foggy night, but even the strongest beam can't reach every shadowy corner. There are places where the light of science meets the shadow of mystery, and in that twilight, the legend of the Bermuda Triangle endures. Stay with us as we sail further into the heart of the Triangle, exploring beyond the boundaries of science and into the realms of what lies beyond the dark. As we continue our voyage beyond the conventional, weaving through the fabric of science and folklore that cloaks the Bermuda Triangle, let's anchor for a moment in the realm of human experience. The Triangle is not just a subject of cold analysis or a relic of ancient mariners' lore. It is a contemporary puzzle, a modern-day enigma that continues to captivate pilots, sailors, and those who brush against its mysteries. In recent times, the Triangle hasn't lost its grip on the collective imagination, and modern encounters have further embroidered the tapestry of its legend. Let's consider the personal accounts, the chilling anecdotes from credible witnesses, and the stories that unfold on the high seas and in the air above. Imagine, for a moment, the countless stories of those who navigate these waters today. From seasoned fishermen to leisure sailors, many have reported bizarre occurrences. Instruments going haywire, mysterious fogs that appear from nowhere, and disorienting time lapses. These tales persist in the digital age, suggesting that the Bermuda Triangle is more than a mere throwback to an age of superstition. One such tale emerges from a pilot flying over the triangle not long ago. As the story goes, the sky was clear, the flight smooth, but suddenly the avionics sputtered, the horizon blurred, and an inexplicable fog enveloped the aircraft. Time seemed to stretch and compress, and for several moments the familiar world was replaced by something altogether alien. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, the anomaly vanished, leaving behind a trail of questions and a pilot weary of the skies above the triangle. Then, there are the recreational yachts that dot the blue expanse, seeking paradise, but sometimes finding perplexity. Yachtsmen have spoken of compasses spinning, of watching the stars swirl as if the night itself had become fluid. Some speak of a feeling of profound silence, a mute hush that descends upon their vessels, and if they've sailed into a realm of suspended reality. And it's not just individual ships and planes that have faced the Triangle's wrath. Even the modern-day titan of the seas, the cruise ship, isn't immune to the Triangle's touch. Passengers have shared stories of seeing strange lights in the sky or witnessing bizarre weather patterns that form swiftly and vanish just as quickly, as if conjured by an unseen hand. It's this ongoing saga, this collection of 21st century tales, that keeps the Triangle firmly within the modern psyche. The stories from these encounters speak to a place that refuses to be tamed by technology or explained away by science. Each story is a reminder that there are still mysteries lurking in the vastness of our planet. Enigmas that are not so easily dismissed by satellite imagery or sonar scans. Moreover, the Bermuda Triangle continues to be a laboratory for the adventurous spirit of humanity. It challenges our sailors and airmen to confront the unknown, to test their skills against the capricious whims of fate, and perhaps to touch the edge of the otherworldly. So, what are we to make of these encounters? Are they simply misperceptions, products of the human mind's tendency to see patterns in chaos? Or is there something more to these waters, a quality that we are yet to understand? The Triangle remains a canvas upon which our deepest fears and greatest wonders are painted, inviting us to look beyond what is known, to entertain the impossible, and to ponder the profound. And now, as the hands of the clock spin toward the witching hour and our journey through the enigmatic waters of the Bermuda Triangle draws to a close, let's not just skim the surface, but dive deeper into the embrace of the mystery that guards its depths. The Triangle, a swath of the Atlantic that stretches between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, has been a source of fascination for as long as humans have dared to sail its azure waters or fly its clear skies. Despite the wealth of scientific rationale we've navigated tonight, the truth remains as shrouded as ever, perhaps cloaked by something that transcends the ordinary. A riddle wrapped in the very fabric of time and space, where answers slip through our fingers like the sands of a Caribbean beach. In this segment, let's ponder the possibilities that extend beyond the physical. The Bermuda Triangle challenges the boundaries of our understanding, asking us to consider phenomena that might exist outside the current realm of human knowledge. Could the Triangle be a gateway to another dimension? A rift in the spatial continuum where the laws of physics falter? Let's entertain, just for a moment, that notion that within this nautical corridor, the rules change. Countless stories from those who have experienced the Triangle firsthand support a narrative that doesn't fit into our everyday reality. Some have speculated about the presence of underwater civilizations that remain hidden, harnessing energies we can scarcely comprehend. Others muse about alien visitations, suggesting that this region is a nexus for extraterrestrial activity, a cosmic crossroads. The triangle beckons to us with a siren's call, inviting us to look beyond the limits of our perception. In this stretch of sea, we find a canvas for the cosmic and the quantum, where we can paint our wildest theories and speculations. Could we be dealing with a natural stargate or wormhole? Phenomena that science fiction has long proposed and that theoretical physics tentatively acknowledges? Amidst these speculations, there's a deeper, more intimate thread woven into the triangle's narrative, the human relationship with the unknown. Throughout history, we've been drawn to the places on the map marked, "Here be dragons." It's in our nature to explore, to seek out the uncharted and to challenge the fathomless. The Bermuda Triangle is as much about this inner journey as it is about external exploration. It stands as a testament to human curiosity and the longing to make sense of the inscrutable. In our quest to understand the triangle, we're reminded of our own limitations, our own fallibility, and yet our relentless pursuit to push beyond those limits. In embracing the mystery, we accept that there are wonders in this world that remain beyond our current grasp. The triangle teaches us the value of wonder and the importance of questioning. It represents a frontier not just of the physical world, but of the mind and spirit, a frontier that continues to captivate and challenge. Here on Beyond the Dark, as the night wraps around us like the cloak of the cosmos itself, we linger for a moment longer at the helm, gazing toward the horizon where sea and sky merge into the great unknown. It's there, in the liminal space between reality and myth, that the Bermuda Triangle whispers its siren song, a call to adventure that has beckoned the brave and the curious for generations. This enigmatic expanse of ocean isn't just a cluster of coordinates. It's a symbol of the human spirit, of our unyielding urge to explore and to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond our reach. In tonight's concluding thoughts, let's steer our ship towards the heart of what it means to answer the call of the unknown. The Bermuda Triangle, with all of its riddles and tales of lost ships and vanished aircraft, stands as a challenge. It dares us to not only navigate its physical breadth, but to traverse the expanses of our imagination. What secrets lie beneath its surface? What lessons can be learned from the vanished? Each story, each unexplained phenomenon, is a thread in the intricate tapestry of this region's mystique. Answering the call of the triangle means different things to different people. For some, it's a literal journey, a physical plunge into its waters, armed with sonar and satellites, seeking what has been hidden. For others, it's a voyage of the mind, considering the impossible, allowing oneself to ponder ancient legends, the potential of other dimensions, or even the presence of extraterrestrial influences. Yet, the call of the Bermuda Triangle isn't solely about seeking answers. It's about the courage to ask questions, to challenge the edge of the world, and to embrace the uncertainty that comes with the quest. It's about the adventurers, the scientists, the storytellers, and even the skeptics, all joined in the dance around the fire of this enduring enigma. To answer this call is to continue a legacy as old as humanity itself. The search for meaning in the face of the inexplicable. It is the same force that drives us to peer into the night sky, to delve into the deepest oceans, and to explore the untouched corners of our Earth. It's the essence of adventure that fuels not just the body, but the soul. In the silence that follows the loss of a ship or the disappearance of a plane, there's a space for reflection. It's here that the Bermuda Triangle serves as a mirror, reflecting our collective fascination with the unexplained. It challenges us to confront the boundaries of our knowledge and to expand them, to look within and ask why the mystery beckons so irresistibly. As we prepare to cast off from tonight's encounter with the Triangle, let's take with us a renewed sense of wonder and a rejuvenated passion for discovery. The world is vast, and its wonders are manifold. Let the Bermuda Triangle remind us that the journey is never over, and that there will always be new horizons to seek, new mysteries to unravel, and new stories to tell. As we sail away from these haunted waters, back to the safety of the known, let the Triangle's enigma be a lantern in the dark, guiding us to new adventures, encouraging us to dream bigger, and to dare with a bolder heart. With stars to guide us, and the vast ocean of possibility at our stern, we close this chapter of Beyond the Dark. But fear not, for the journey never truly ends. It lives on in the tales we share, the questions we carry, and the thirst for the unknown that defines our very being. This is Jay Rockwell, wishing you fair winds and following seas. May your every venture be touched with a hint of the Triangle's mystery, and may you always navigate by the stars of your own curiosity. Until we meet again in the shadow places of our world, keep chasing the horizon. Whew! That's a good piece. That's a good piece on the Bermuda Triangle. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I felt like maybe I needed to dive more into a specific story, but I know I kept it a little broad. Hope you guys didn't mind that. Hope you guys enjoyed. But we're going to go on and move on to the trivia question. No one answered last week's question on parallel universes and the multiverse theory, and that's okay. Hopefully this week we get a participant. Tonight's trivia question is, within the Bermuda Triangle, pilots and sailors have often reported sudden and unexplained malfunctions of navigational instruments. One specific anomaly frequently recounted involves a traditional navigation tool. What is this tool that is said to behave erratically within the triangle, often spinning inexplicably or giving false readings? I will repeat that question. Within the Bermuda Triangle, pilots and sailors have often reported sudden and unexplained malfunctions of navigational instruments. One specific anomaly frequently recounted involves a traditional navigation tool. What is this tool that is said to behave erratically within the triangle, often spinning inexplicably or giving false readings? If you know the answer, please email me at beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. The first person to email me the correct answer will get a shout out on next week's show and 10 points. The answer is in the story, so if you kind of were just, loosely paying attention, maybe just scroll back about 20 minutes, give it a listen. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take another break. Shout outs to Mixkit.co, who provide all the sounds and music that you hear here on Beyond the Dark. If you are interested in getting your music featured, or you make music and you want to promote it, please hit me up at beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. When we come back, we have a new short segment for you called the BTD Book Club, where we are going to recommend a new book every week with a little short review, and then we're going to hit up our short story segment, okay? So I'll check you guys in just a moment.
Welcome back to Beyond the Dark with Jay Rockwell.
Here I am, and we are back. Hope you guys are enjoying tonight's show as much as I am. We got a new segment for you called the BTD Book Club. And every week I will recommend a new book. And this is kind of like a little project that Rev, Kim, Love, and myself are working on. And today's recommendation comes directly from Kim, and we're going to dive into it. The book is My Descent into Death, A Second Chance at Life, and it's by Howard Storm. So if you want to look that up, it's great. I actually have a physical copy to the left of me, and that is my second book on my read list. I'm about to finish The Late Great Planet Earth by Hal Lindsey. Should have finished it last night, but I'm like 15 pages away. And then after that, I have Blood Moon by Hal Lindsey, and then I have the Howard Storm. I said Howard Stern. No, wrong Howard. Howard Storm's book. But here is the excerpt from Kim on the recommendation. Howard Storm's book, My Descent into Death, A Second Chance at Life, is a fascinating and unusual look at the world of an NDE, or a near-death experience. Howard's NDE occurred while on a trip to France with his art students. He suffered some type of internal bleeding and needed emergency surgery, but the doctor wasn't able to get there for 11 hours. During that time, while waiting for the doctor, Howard Storm died. His near-death experience is unusual because he was an atheist and didn't believe in any kind of afterlife. Howard's first stop during the first part of his NDE was to hell. While in hell, he experienced a torment that he can't even think about or describe because it sends him into trauma. At some point in this hell experience, he prayed to get out and was rescued by heavenly beings and brought to heaven. Don't let this slim book fool you into thinking it's an easy read, because there's a lot to it, offering us a lot of philosophical ponderings. While Howard was in the heavenly part of his NDE experience, he asked the heavenly beings some very profound questions, such as, which religion is right? Therefore, even though the book is slim, it will take time to read because it will get you thinking. Although I didn't agree with absolutely everything, I did find most of the story of his NDE completely thought-provoking and helpful for my life. It can ease some of the worries currently going on in the world, such as wars, division, etc. It's a good book to remind us there is a God and how much God truly loves us. I highly recommend this book. I will read it again and plan on reading his other 3 books. That is Kim's review of Howard Storm's My Descent into Death, A Second Chance at Life. I recommend that you guys go out and get a copy. Libraries carry it. That's where I got mine, and I will be reading it very soon. We're going to go ahead and dive into our short story segment. Remember, I said last week I was going to do the last 3 chapters of Harvest Moon, and I was planning on cutting the short story segment altogether. But I have a couple people, just a couple, but that's all I needed, telling me that they actually are paying attention, they enjoy it, and they listen to it, and don't remove it. So, until I have people outweighing them that say, no, it sucks, go away, we're gonna keep rocking and grooving, okay? Excuse me. So, as usual, the links to the chapters will be below in the description if you want to view the images and read along. Okay, so we got chapters 8, 9, and 10, and that will be the end of Harvest Moon, and next week we will start a new short story, and it won't be 10 chapters, okay? They're going to all be shorter from here on out, so let's dive into it. Harvest Moon, Chapter 8, Revelations. The underground cavern echoed with the soft shuffle of footsteps as the members of the resistance pressed forward into the unknown. Sarah led the way, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and anticipation. She could feel the weight of history bearing down on her, urging her closer to the truth. As they descended deeper into the cavern, the air grew heavy, charged with an otherworldly energy. Shadows danced on the walls, twisting and contorting as if possessed by a malevolent force. The whispers grew louder, their voices a cacophony of secrets and forgotten truths. And then they reached a chamber, a place of profound significance. Its walls were adorned with ancient carvings, depicting otherworldly beings and scenes of an unimaginable horror. The very essence of the room pulsed with an eerie glow, cast in macabre shadows that danced upon the faces of the resistance. Sarah's gaze fell upon a pedestal in the center of the chamber, upon which rested a small, ornate box. It emanated a faint hum, as if alive with a dormant power. Her hands trembled as she reached for it, her fingertips brushing against the cold surface. With a surge of trepidation and curiosity, she opened the box, revealing a collection of ancient scrolls. The resistance gathered around, their eyes wide with anticipation, as Sarah unrolled one of the scrolls. As she read the ancient text aloud, the chamber seemed to come alive. The words carried a weight and resonance that shook them to the core. The scrolls revealed the true nature of the alien invaders. They were not simply conquerors, but harvesters. The aliens had been visiting Earth for centuries, selecting humans for their own mysterious purposes. They sought not only physical bodies, but also the essence of human consciousness, the very soul itself. Earth was but a breeding ground, a farm to satisfy their insatiable hunger. The revelation struck the resistance with a force that reverberated through their collective being. The horror of their situation became clear. No longer were they merely fighting for survival, but for the preservation of the very essence of humanity. The scrolls spoke of a ritual, a ceremony that would seal the fate of humanity if left unchecked. The resistance realized that their journey had only just begun, and the true battle lay ahead. With newfound determination, they resolved to unravel the secrets of the ritual and put an end to the alien harvest. They would fight not only for their lives, but for the future of all humanity. The stakes had never been higher. As they left the chamber, the weight of the revelation hung heavy in the air. The journey back to Havenbrook was fraught with a renewed sense of purpose and urgency. They knew they had little time to spare. The fate of humanity rested in their hands. Chapter 9. The Final Harvest. The resistance returned to Havenbrook with a renewed sense of purpose. The town's once quiet streets now buzzed with a tangible energy as the remaining townsfolk rallied behind them. They knew that the battle against the alien harvesters was no longer a fight for survival, but a fight for the very essence of humanity. Sarah and Tom took charge, organizing the resistance and sharing their newfound knowledge. The scrolls they had discovered in the underground chamber revealed the location and timing of the ritual, the final harvest that would seal the fate of humanity. As the town prepared for the impending showdown, tension hung in the air like an electric charge. Fear and determination melded together, forming a potent cocktail of emotions that fueled the resolve of the resistance. The night of the ritual arrived, and Havenbrook stood poised for its ultimate test. The moon hung high in the sky, casting an ethereal glow upon the gathered townsfolk. They knew that this would be their final chance to strike back against the alien invaders, to safeguard not only their lives, but the very essence of humanity itself. Sarah, Tom, and the resistance made their way to the designated location, a hidden grove on the outskirts of town. The air crackled with anticipation as they positioned themselves, their hearts pounding in unison. The grove was bathed in an otherworldly light, as if the very fabric of reality had been torn asunder. The alien harvesters, grotesque beings with elongated limbs and soulless eyes, emerged from the shadows. They moved with a grace that belied their monstrous nature, their movements calculated and precise. The resistance unleashed their fury upon the invaders, their weapons and resolve unwavering. The battle that ensued was fierce and unforgiving, as each side fought with desperate fervor. The air filled with the stench of blood and the cries of the wounded, but the resistance stood their ground. Sarah, driven by an unyielding determination, realized that their physical weapons alone would not be enough to defeat the harvesters. Remembering the ancient scrolls, She called upon the power of the human spirit, the essence that the aliens sought to devour. With a voice filled with conviction, she rallied her fellow resistance members, urging them to channel their collective consciousness, their strength of will, into a final assault. Their minds became a united force, a beacon of pure humanity that pierced through the alien invaders. In a dazzling display of energy and power, the harvesters faltered, their forms flickering and dissipating like smoke. The final harvest had been disrupted, their plans thwarted by the sheer force of human spirit. As the last remnants of the alien invaders vanished, a palpable silence fell upon the grove. The townsfolk emerged from their hiding places, their faces etched with a mixture of relief and awe. They had faced the unimaginable and emerged victorious. The battle against the alien harvesters had come to an end, but Havenbrook would forever bear the scars of its ordeal. The town would rebuild, its people forever changed by the horrors they had witnessed. Sarah and Tom stood amidst the aftermath, their bodies weary but their spirits resolute. They knew that the fight to protect humanity would be ongoing, that the threat of the harvesters would forever loom. But they also knew that as long as there were those willing to stand up and fight, the essence of humanity would endure. Chapter 10: Aftermath. The echoes of battle still lingered in the air, and the town of Havenbrook slowly began to heal its wounds. The once vibrant streets were now filled with a somber calmness as the townsfolk reflected on the horrors they had endured. The alien invaders had been defeated, but the scars left behind would forever remind them of the price they had paid. Sarah and Tom, the steadfast leaders of the resistance, found themselves at the center of it all. They were hailed as heroes, their names whispered in reverence throughout the town, but their hearts were heavy, burdened by the weight of the lives lost and the sacrifice demanded. Together, they stood atop a hill overlooking Havenbrook, the town they had fought so fiercely to protect. The ruins of the battle still smoldered in the distance, a stark reminder of the darkness they had faced. As they surveyed the aftermath, they couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions. Gratitude for their victory, sorrow for the fallen, and a lingering unease. They knew that while they had defeated the immediate threat, the possibility of future encounters with the alien harvesters remained. The town slowly began to rebuild, its people rallying together in a collective art of resilience. But it was evident that the experience had changed them all. The once carefree laughter was tinged with a touch of melancholy, and the smiles carried a hint of weariness. Sarah and Tom took it upon themselves to help rebuild not just the physical structures of Havenbrook, but also the spirits of its people. They organized community gatherings, offering support and solace to those who had been traumatized by the events. In the quiet moments, as they walked the streets of Havenbrook, Sarah and Tom couldn't help but reflect on their own personal journeys. They had started as ordinary individuals, thrust into extraordinary circumstances. Their bond had grown stronger through the shared adversity, and they had become beacons of hope in the darkness. But as they looked to the future, they knew that their work was not yet done. They remained vigilant, aware that the threat of the harvesters still loomed, perhaps in the shadows of another town, another community. They vowed to continue their fight, to spread awareness of the alien invaders and their insidious plans. They knew that knowledge was power, and by shining a light on the truth, they could rally others to stand against the forces that sought to devour humanity. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. Havenbrook gradually began to regain its sense of normalcy, although forever marked by the battle it had endured. Sarah and Tom took solace in the small victories, the smiles returning to faces, the laughter becoming more genuine. Life went on, but the memory of the harrowing ordeal would forever be etched in their hearts and minds. The alien harvesters had been defeated, but the fight to protect humanity would continue. Sarah and Tom had become the guardians of a dark secret, vowing to remain vigilant in the face of the unknown. As the sun set over Havenbrook, casting long shadows across the town, Sarah and Tom stood side by side. They watched as the last rays of light disappeared beyond the horizon, knowing that the darkness would always be lurking, ready to test their resolve. Together, they faced the unknown, prepared to confront whatever terrors awaited them. They were not just survivors. They were warriors, driven by an unyielding determination to protect the essence of humanity from the clutches of the alien invaders. And that concludes the short story Harvest Moon. I hope all of you enjoyed it. I hope everyone enjoyed the show tonight. It was a good program, I think. Bermuda Triangle, definitely an interesting subject. And I don't know if you guys have read any books regarding the Bermuda Triangle, but if you have and you have some good ones to recommend, please shoot me a message, leave me a comment down below. Remember to send in all your stories, experiences, encounters, all your questions to beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. Also, remember, we had that Phantom Frequency special last week on Halloween. If you missed it, please go back and give it a listen. I got a lot of good feedback on it. People really enjoying the energy and the music that was in it and the stories. So they're all user submitted. They're not just read from a book, okay? These are stories that were submitted to me, and for next month, November 30th, will be Phantom Frequencies Volume 2, and I already have several submissions for that. So go ahead and get your story in as quick as you can, or we're going to be waiting until December probably. I got room for I think I do like 20 stories, and then I cut it off, and I let it roll. Remember the Discord and the Facebook community page. If you don't do Discord, maybe Facebook. If you don't do Facebook, maybe Discord. Not a requirement, but it is to be part of the community, so you are in the know-how. If you're part of the Facebook community page, however, you get 2 daily news bits every day. So if you like the news bit segment in the beginning of my program, you most definitely want to follow the Facebook community page. Thank you so much to the coffee supporters. Again, I start my morning off every day with the freshest cup of coffee thanks to Michelle, Afros Animation, and Sky Eyes. Guys, it's been a great time. Please, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button, hit the sub button, and please turn your notifications on. I've been hearing from a lot of people that they're not getting notified. And some people just are getting so frustrated, and I could definitely see why. Well, a user came along and he made a comment saying, make sure that your notifications aren't sent to, I think he said, not set to personalized, but to all. That or it's the other way around. So go ahead and play with your notification settings if you're having trouble getting notifications for Beyond the Dark. Shoutouts to Mixkit.co, who provide all the sounds and music that you hear right here on Beyond the Dark. If you want to get your music out there, you want to promote your music, or you just want me to have some different music, go ahead and send me those music files at beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. That's beyondthedarkradio@outlook.com. My name is Jay Rockwell. This has been another great installment of Beyond the Dark, and I hope to see y'all next week. Have a great night. Peace.